All right, DoorDash is making a major change in the way drivers get paid. The company announced yesterday that Dashers will have two options: earning a minimum hourly rate or being paid per order. Drivers were previously only paid per order. Joining us now for more is Levi Sumagaysay. She's a senior reporter for MarketWatch. So how big is this change for those specific gig economy workers, and what kind of restrictions are they looking at if they choose to earn the new pay time structures, time pay?
Sure. So this is a pretty big change. Gig workers typically do not earn by time. And so what DoorDash has done since last year is test this new way where Dashers, which is what they call their delivery workers, get to choose, right? They get to choose whether they earn the old way or whether they want to simply, I guess, not think about which orders to take, basically just put in their time and get paid, a minimum earnings guaranteed based on their active time. I have only talked to one Dasher who has tested this previously, and she told me she felt like it didn't work for her, that the minimums were too low, but that she intended to try again. Other Dashers who have talked about this online because they've tested it have some mixed feelings about it.
So, Levi, I'm a bit of a lurker on Reddit, and there is a subreddit of Dashers. And so I'm familiar with the dilemma that they have, that sometimes you take an order, you get a flat fee, and what looks like a short distance on a map, depending on the city that you're in, can take way longer to drop off the food, right? So then suddenly your hourly rate goes down depending on how long it takes. So it depends on the time of day, it depends on the city that you work in, all these sort of things. So I think having an option is a great idea, but it's also sort of been a bit of a workaround for DoorDash. Can you just talk a little bit about how companies like DoorDash are able to get around paying the federal minimum wage to their workers by labeling them independent contractors?
Sure, yes. So independent contractors are not subject to any minimum wage laws. In fact, the thing about the gig economy, Uber, DoorDash, Lyft, et cetera, is that they have treated these workers as independent contractors, which means they do not have to pay the minimum wage. These workers are responsible for their expenses, like, they use their own cars, they use their own fuel. And so that's the rub, right? The minimum wage that DoorDash is now offering is not actually a minimum wage in the same way that employees get a minimum wage, because even under this new system, they only get paid from the time they accept a delivery to the time that they actually deliver. So they don't get paid while they're waiting, for example, for a delivery.
So you spoke with a vice president at DoorDash about the changes. Tell us about that conversation.
Sure. Yeah. I spoke with Cody Offney this week, right after they had a press conference to announce this change, which they have been testing for the past year. He told me that it was that this change was sparked by conversations with Dashers who, some of them complained that they may not be making enough money doing DoorDash. He says that the company wants to meet Dashers where they are, meaning they want to give them a choice of how to earn. When I asked him whether this change was sparked at all by any legislative or policy concerns, he said no.
Because that's interesting, because that's coming up more and more, right? Whether or not changes need to be made to force these companies to pay people for the work that they're putting in, pay people what they're worth.
Right.
could we see other gig companies then follow suit with, workers earning by time? And what I find kind of interesting about DoorDash's option is with each gig, or I guess with each delivery, the dasher can determine whether or not they want to be paid by the delivery or paid by the hour.
Each time. Oh.
That's how I understood it. Is that how it works?
Yes.
I thought that was kind of
Yes.
interesting. Could we see other companies follow suit?
I'm not sure. Part of my thinking on this is, when I did ask him whether this was sparked by legislative or policy concerns, like you said, this is starting to come up more and more. For example, in California, this is not going to happen because there already is a guaranteed minimum earnings in California for gig workers, Seattle as well, New York as well, right? And so I feel like DoorDash is sort of trying to head off what it sees as a growing trend or a concern. Will other companies follow suit? I'm not sure. Maybe, DoorDash is a pretty big test case.
Yeah.
Cody Offney told me that by the end of the year, they plan to put approximately 80% of U.S. markets on this system where DoorDashers can choose which way to earn.
We'll see how it works out. Levi Sumagaysay, thank you so much.